what we can be. Let's put it all together, playing loose, playing free, playing for each other, and go 1-0 every snap. Believe in yourself individually and collectively as a family as much as I do.
You play a Big Ten opponent on the road, you got to bring your hard hat, or at least the old school leather helmet. The Owls went toe-to-toe with Illinois and had their chances to pull off the upset, but wind up on the short end of a hard-fought 23-17 game. Hi everybody, welcome to Inside the Owls Burrow. I'm Frank Fort alongside the Hagerty family head football coach Tom Herman. Coach, I don't think any FAU player or coach walked out of that stadium thinking that was not a winnable game. You competed hard and you certainly had your opportunities to win.
Yeah, and that's kind of where the conundrum comes in. You know, you certainly do want to point out the positives of, being able to, especially after a week like we had against Clemson and the physical toll that game took on us, to be able to go in there and go toe-to-toe on the road with a Power 5 opponent and, be within one score of a chance to get the second win in program history against a Power 5 opponent. Certainly, there's a lot of good to be taken from that, especially being how different, this team feels in just a couple weeks' time. But also knowing that if we'd have just, been a little bit more consistent with our level of play at critical moments, we would have had that victory. But we're not there yet, but I think we all have shown each other, most importantly, but a lot of people that pay attention to us, that this team, if we continue on the trajectory that we're on, should have a chance to compete for championships in the month of November and December. And, that ultimately is our only big picture goal.
Daniel Richardson gets his first start as an Owl, and I thought he did pretty well after evaluating the tape. What did the coaching staff take away from his performance?
He played, like you said, very, very admirably. We talked prior to the game, him and myself, about protect the football, manage the game, and just be you. Relax and have fun. He's a veteran. He's earned the respect of the team. He's got one interception on his stat sheet, but that was on a 4th and 14, I believe, or something like that, where we needed to, the ball needed to come out of his hands in the end zone. And so, other than that, made pretty good decisions. I think, in the run game, probably could have made a few more decisions that might have helped the run game a little bit. But for his first start in that environment with that kind of game unfolding, to be able to lead a drive down 2 scores, to go 97 yards in just a couple of minutes, I think was, spoke a lot about Daniel and his leadership and command of the offense.
Coach Herman's interview each week is brought to you by Phil Smith Automotive, driving the Owls to victory together in style. LaJohntay Wester, it seems like we talk about him every week, and you'll be breaking down his touchdown play later. Another multiple catch game, 13 catches. He's now second in the country in catches per game. But having said that, as we move to conference play, is it essential that some other receivers, either get open more often, or I don't know if this is the right way to put it, become more dependable?
I think the answer to that is both, yes. I think we feel very confident in Jaquan Burton and Tony Johnson. Again, we've got to find that 4th and 5th guy that continues to be able to produce and can take some wear and tear off of some of those guys. But obviously, LaJohntay is really, really good, and you're right. Illinois had a plan for him. I thought Coach Fry had a really good plan to still find ways to get him the football. But at times I've always said, having a receiver that's as good as LaJohntay is a little bit more difficult to manufacture ways to get him touches, because at the end of the day, in the passing game, the ball is going to go where the defense dictates it go. And, if they want to double LaJohntay, which Illinois did frequently, then, we need to produce at other positions.
Did a great job, I thought, shutting down their run in the first half, and you had 4 sacks. And the Owls haven't had that many since the opening game of 2022. Marlon Bradley had a pair of those, and he looks like he's developing pretty nicely.
Had a really good game. Yeah, he's doing a good job of taking the drills and the coaching and the training to the field on game day, and you can see his progress really almost weekly. how much improvement he makes from week to week, because he's a guy that's very dedicated to his craft and really practices it, studies it, and continues to get better, and is a great example, like you said, of a guy that even an older veteran like that is continuing to improve this much at this stage in his career is a testament to his dedication to wanting to be great.
Got the bye week this week. Does it come at a good time?
Oh, it's perfect time. When I saw the schedule and how it laid out, I thought it was great. We've had 4 weeks of training camp, 4 weeks of a season with back-to-back road Power 5 opponents, and now we get to take a deep breath. Certainly, we see how close we are, so we've got work to do this week. This is not, I told the guys this week, this is not an off week. This is a work week. We'll take care of the bodies and all of that by, the way that we schedule practice, but when we ask you to give us everything you got, it's time to give us everything you got, because we are that close and we're on the edge, and we can't let up at this point. And then we've got 8 straight weeks of conference play, so I think it comes at a really good, opportune time for us.
All right, so we're 4 games in. I think you could argue that we could just as easily be 3-1 as 1-3. But after 4 games, what do you know about your team, and what do you think you're still finding out?
Well, I know that we've got a lot of guys that care. I know that we're good enough from a personnel standpoint, at least our starting 22 to compete for a championship in this conference, assuming we stay healthy and play to our level, which we haven't quite yet. And I also know that about our team, that we've got a lot of work to do to make sure that, the 65 out of 70 plays is not good enough, and we need to understand that champions, when you have a team on the ropes, when you have a winnable game like that, they find ways to win. And we know that, and we know the areas that we have to improve. What am I looking to find out? I'm looking for, the guys that are going to take that next step and respond to, that training and that attention to detail throughout this week and then the week of preparation for Tulsa.
All right, it is that time. Tom Herman's Pop Culture Pop Quiz, brought to you by FAU MBA in Sport Management. We are going to go one-hit wonders this week, and I think you're going to get at least one of these. Okay, the first one is hip-hop, which is your specialty. This is how we do it. This is how we do it. It's Friday.
Montel Jordan.
Very good. 6'8". Guy's a big dude.
Yes.
Okay, this is more pop, okay, which is not exactly your wheelhouse, but it's the theme from Friends, I'll Be There For You.
So one name, like the Platters, not the
You're on the right track.
Not the
You're on the right
Platters.
track.
It's not coming to me. I don't know.
The Rembrandts.
The Rembrandts, that's right. Definitely a one-hit wonder, for sure.
Coach, have a great weekend. We'll talk to you next
All
week.
right. Thanks, Frank.
Coming up, we'll get into the personality of wide receiver Tony Johnson in this week's Pads Off. That's straight ahead on Inside the Owls Burrow. Inside the Owls Burrow is presented by Baptist Health Orthopedic Care, the official sports medicine provider of Florida Atlantic Athletics. By Cedar Foods, Cedars, no better hummus. By FAU MBA in Sport Management, nationally renowned and ranked number 11 globally. By Phil Smith Kia, driving the Owls to victory together in style. By Sage Dental, the official dental provider of FAU Athletics. Book at mysagedental.com. And by Shiner Law Group, the injury lawyers that get you more because you deserve more.
Here we have a first down play, just crossing the red zone. I thought it was a really good play design and call by Coach Fry. Max protection. We catch Illinois in one high man. Nice job on the perimeter by Devin Price of running his route legally and creating a bit of an obstacle for the defender to run around. And obviously, LaJohntay runs a great route. And the ball is put perfectly over the outside shoulder for a touchdown to put us up 10-0.
Pads Off is brought to you by Sage Dental, official dental provider of FAU Athletics. Book at mysagedental.com. We're back on Inside the Owls Burrow. Joining us for Pads Off this week is wide receiver Tony Johnson. Tony actually came here on an academic scholarship. You were eventually awarded a football scholarship, but were academics important in your family growing up?
Yes, sir. It was always important. My mom, she established that in me, like when I was super young, just take care of academics, and like football was always a plus for me, like handle the classroom and everything else to like fall in place.
Now, have you had a favorite class here at FAU, or what is it your studying degree? What's your degree track?
Business management. I took microeconomics and macroeconomics last semester in the spring, and I can say probably macroeconomics was my favorite so far. So it's getting pretty fun in that field.
All right, let's get to know Tony away from the field. Who do you look up to the most, your life hero, or maybe the biggest influence in your life?
I'm gonna go right back to my mom. She put on the big boy hat when it was time. Like, she stepped up and made sure me and my sisters, like, we always had, and I appreciate her for everything that she's done for me and she continues to do to this day.
What's your favorite video game, and which teammate do you play it with most often?
Everybody know I love Fortnite, and that's my #1 game. I don't play with teammates too often. I played with Amari Wansley a few times and Jay Sean Platt, but I play with my friend back home, Christian Smith. Like, that's been my friend for a while, and that's our go-to game. Like, help me unplug from football, everything, and just relax.
We see your football talent. What's one thing you're bad at?
I'm gonna go with golf. We went to drive chat recently, and I was horrible. So need some more practice with that. Be better.
All right, peanut butter, smooth or crunchy?
Smooth. I like peanut butter and jelly sandwiches. I like to just chew, but not chew on nothing crunchy or anything like that.
Smooth like Tony Johnson, the receiver.
Yes, sir.
What ice cream flavor describes you best, or what is your favorite flavor?
Favorite flavor is cookies and cream. I can get it from anywhere. I love it.
First career you dreamed about when you were a kid?
Obviously I love football, but I think engineering was the first one I thought about. Yeah, I like to build. I was liking to build stuff, and at Vanguard I took a few drafting classes, so I was falling in love with that.
Have you ever eaten a whole pizza by yourself, and if so, what was on it?
Yeah, I do that to this day. I love pizza. I can probably sausage and bacon. I like to mix it up like a meat lover type, but I do that a bunch. I love pizza.
All right, favorite musical artist, or when you can't decide what to listen to, you kind of default to this artist?
Lil Baby, that's my #1, yeah. I can listen to Lil Baby for the whole road trip. Back home to Ocala, like, he just get me going.
Last question for Tony Johnson this week. In the wide receiver room, who's the most serious guy and who's the funniest guy?
Ooh, most serious? It depends. I don't think we got that many serious guys in there, depending on what the day is, but I could probably say myself, it's time to be serious. I can lock us in. But the funniest, we got a bunch. LaJohntay Wester, BJ, Quan. It just depends on what kind of joke you're looking for. We got a whole bunch of characters in that room, and I love that room. I love the slot outs.
Tony, thanks for taking the pads off and being with us.
Yes, sir, Mr. Frank. Appreciate you.
Coming up, this former walk-on linebacker earned a scholarship in August. What it means to Jarrett Jerrels. Next in Football in Paradise, here on Inside the Owls Burrow. Welcome back to Inside the Owls Burrow. When any college football walk-on earns a scholarship, that's a big deal for both the player and his family. Here's how it happened and the impact on linebacker Jarrett Jerrels in Football in Paradise. Football in Paradise is brought to you by Shiner Law Group, the injury lawyers that get you more because you deserve more.
Coming out of high school, well, I had a few offers, but my senior year, I had got knee surgery because I blew my knee out the third game my senior year. So some of my options kind of went away, but I still had to prefer walk-on to Florida, and I had to prefer walk-on to here. Me and my dad sat down one night, we talked about it, and just talking about it, you know, we figured that I had a better opportunity to come here, and, you know, it wasn't right next to my house. It was a little drive, so I could actually get away, you know, from my city and, you know, explore the world a little bit. making my mark on special teams here has been just, you know, I mean, my mindset for that is everything matters. Every rep on the field matters. It doesn't matter if it's special teams, if it's blocking a field goal, if it's protecting for the field goal, offense, defense. I mean, it's all part of the game, and, you know, big things can happen from any part of that.
Good, Jerrels, good habits.
I came out to walk on. Y'all boys accepted me as family. The night of testimony it's pretty much for us to like learn about our team, and it's kind of like to help us build a brotherhood. Our teammate's supposed to be over our shoulders. He's supposed to tell what our family, mom and dad's name is, our brothers, sisters, siblings, and then he's supposed to tell us what our biggest achievement is and what our worst thing we've ever been through in our life. So the hardest thing that I had been through in my life was when I was 12 years old. My family was pretty tight. Well, my dad and my mom got a divorce, and my mom kind of went on the wrong path after that and just got around the wrong crowd, and my mom got into drugs, and she kind of lost herself. She wasn't really a mom there for me no more. So I kind of lost that place in my heart. But I was very blessed to have the stepmom now who took me in as her own son, took my sisters in as her own kids, and treat us like a mom. And she was that role model for me, and she changed my life.
While that was certainly the toughest part of Jarrett's life so far, let's go back to that night of testimony where he found out his life was changing.
I went first, then Nick Marino. You know, he used to be a walk-on or whatever. He was my partner. Like, just luck of the draw, I guess. The last thing he said was my biggest accomplishment.
You might have another bigger accomplishment because you're on.
In that moment in time, I was just shocked. I had no words. I just thought in my head, like, you know, all the hard work that I put in and everything that I've done here at FAU, it didn't go unnoticed.
When you give a guy that's worked as hard as Jarrett Jerrels has worked and bled and sweat and cried for this program and this university, and you're able to reward him with his background, it's pretty cool. And for him to be able to share that with his teammates, that was real. What you saw in that video, that celebration, that was real.
Me being awarded a scholarship, you know, it allows me to be able to live more comfortably. So, you know, before, you know, sometimes like during the summers, you know, I may have not had enough money, and I may or may not have slept on a couch for the summer, or, you know, on an air mattress in somebody's living room. And so me being able to have a scholarship, it just allows me to, it took a big stress off my shoulders. I FaceTimed my parents, and I showed them the picture that was on the team room, of saying I got awarded a scholarship. My mom read it right away. She busted out into tears, and she was just super happy, yelling. And my dad's so confused because he was a little far away from the camera. He's like, "What are you yelling for?" And then my mom told her, and, you know, he was pretty happy too. Like, they were stoked about it.
Coming up next, wide receiver LaJohntay Wester is the school's new record holder for pass receptions. More on his accomplishment when Inside the Owls Burrow returns. Inside the Owls Burrow is brought to you by Adidas, by Baptist Health Orthopedic Care, the official sports medicine provider of Florida Atlantic Athletics, by Cedars No Better Hummus, by FAU MBA in Sport Management, helping the sports and entertainment executives of tomorrow, by Phil Smith Kia, by Sage Dental, the official dental provider of FAU Athletics. Book at mysagedental.com. And by Shiner Law Group, injury lawyers that get you more because you deserve more. Welcome back to Inside the Owls Burrow. With an ultra-productive start to the season, wide receiver LaJohntay Wester has absolutely smashed the school record for career receptions, eclipsing the previous mark of 162 held by Cortez Gent. This feature brought to you by Go Solar Power, lowest payment, best equipment, #1 solar installer. The record-breaking catch at Clemson was a little flip pass that LaJohntay turned into a 5-yard gain for career catch 163. He went on to catch 11 more in that game, blowing up the previous standard. Though he hated that it came in a loss, Wester can justifiably be proud of the new record.
I mean, it's a great personal accomplishment, but, you know, you should know me by now. Like, I like to win. That's the main goal, to win, but not taking away from that, it's a big accomplishment for me, and I'm very proud of myself.
When you came to FAU, was this the type of accomplishment, something you thought was even possible?
Yeah, I actually told my dad, like, when I first got here, because, you know, I was on a blue shirt offer. I told him, I say, before I leave here, I want to make sure, like, when people look back 10, 20 years from now, they be like, yeah, we remember LaJohntay Wester that played there, because I'm gonna either break a record here or just my performance and my character off the field. So, yeah.
He's wired the right way. He only goes one speed, one tempo. Every day at practice, he takes it from the practice field, he takes it to the game. And that's, from my experience, the guys at the next level, that's how they're wired. They don't have an off switch. They run all day. They run to win all day. They just go, go, go. I call them the spark plug. You know, he put some really good film out there against a really good defense. You know, just their ability to try and cover him. So I have a lot of respect for him and just how he's wired. It's awesome.
He just has a different motor about himself, you know. Man, he comes to the sideline like, man, yeah, I'm going to be open. Trust me, I'm going to be open. Just throw me the ball. I'll be like, all right, for sure, I got you. And it's a mindset thing. It's rare that you find too many players like that. That's one guy right there has an NFL mindset, and you would definitely be seeing him on Sundays.
So just where does that one-speed, high motor, never ease off attitude come from?
That's just how I was raised, you know. Playing from Little League all the way through Palmetto High School. That's just what I was taught all the way since I started playing football. It just one speed, go 100%, do nothing.
Our congratulations as well to LaJohntay on the new record. Thanks for watching. I'm Frank Forth. We'll see you next week on Inside the Owls Burrow. This has been a presentation of Playfly.